So now I'm going to wrap it up with this. Some water. So a lot of women at first are like, oh, no, I think you're wrong. I think you misunderstand. Like, women are very attracted to men visually. I'm like, oh, really?
Now remember, she's talking about internal, meaning body language, how he appears, the way he moves, stands, and the tone of his voice, etc. She's actually talking about a different form of visual. She's talking about visual body language, okay? Whereas the male is talking about logical. He's talking about the external, about her body, her boobs, her butt, and all that stuff, okay? But continue on the next section. I think you're going to like this. So before that, though, one thing you're going to find throughout this, when you learn about men and women, is a man will say a word and she may say the same word, but we have two completely different meanings. He's literally talking about her body. In fact, what do men say to each other and even to women all the time? He's like, look, please don't say anything. You're going to ruin it. And we're not joking, because we want to really get into our visual to look at your body, because it really triggers our mating system and turns us on. For a lot of men, when a woman starts to talk, it literally turns him off. In fact, most men say, yeah, I mean, if I see a girl that I'm attracted to, I'm ready to go. In fact, I would wish that she doesn't talk. Now, I'm not trying to be rude, but it is the opposite of what women are saying when they're talking about visual stimulation. Now listen to the next part of this video. It's gonna blow you away. And remember, ladies, the entire course for men is to teach him how to open up to his right brain, the emotional five senses processor, and learn how to connect with you mentally first and then emotionally through mentally stimulating communication and emotionally fulfilling communication. There is a switch, if you will, inside him that was turned off before he was even born. What I'm doing neurologically, I'm rewiring him to flip that switch to where all of a sudden communication stimulates his mating system, and suddenly he understands why it stimulates yours. This is an awesome course. So go ahead and listen to the next section. All right.
It's like, oh, really? They're like, yeah. I go, well, let me ask you a question. Here's the kicker. Watch this. Again, 100% of women are like, oh, yeah, that's true. So I say, what would happen if you were to meet a guy who was the perfect height, the perfect hair color, the perfect haircut, perfect teeth, perfect body, muscular, or whatever some women like, more, round men, or, big, beefy men. But let's say you made a list of visually, this is what I'm attracted to. And like, And then you take the guy home to your mother, your aunts, your sisters, your female cousins, and your grandmother, and some of your best friends, your girlfriends from school, and the minute you walk him and introduce him, the minute he opens his mouth, he sounds like an idiot. Every single woman for 30 years, like, oh no, that's a turn off. So I say, so it is about communication. Like, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if he doesn't know how to communicate in the right brain language, that is a major turn off. So guys, I am freaking telling you, it's not about looks for a woman. It is about communication. Here's the ultimate reason. Well, Mike, why is it about communication? Because the female mating system is looking to see if you have right brain communication. Why? Because if you're just left brain, you have a very narrow band. But if you can expand, let's say this is the middle, over to the right side, that means now you've got a wide range of communication. So you can communicate to the scientific guys, to the what's the next one? The what are they called? You got the scientists, and you got the architects, which are still pretty left brain, and then you got the construction dudes, because they're more physical, and then you got guys that are like construction guys, football players, weightlifters, because they're so into their body. Remember, the right brain is connected to the body. The left brain's connected to the forehead. Okay, that's a very simplified way of saying it, but it is. So physical guys tend to unconsciously get along with women better and tend to have longer relationships, because on an unconscious level, they have the ability to crossing over to the right side at least some of the time. Okay? So So the reason why it's so important to be right brain is because right brain guys can literally see the bigger picture. Who do you think is going to be the general? The guy who's counting the bullets, the details, which is left brain, by the way. It's like you're looking under a microscope. Or the guy who takes all this mass military and puts it into a force onto the field. He has to see how all the components fit together. Left brain people can't do that. They only focus on one thing at a time. So the person that's going to be counting the boots, the shoelaces, the bullets, the weapons, the guns, and all that stuff is going to be a private. That private takes that information, gives it up to his sergeant. His sergeant gets all the information from the privates on how many boots we got, how many bullets, how many this, how many that, and the sergeant gets that, and that's the next level of bigger picture, and then he gives it up to his captain, and this captain takes that and he gives it up to his freaking, up the line, eventually to the general. So the general gets all this information, and he's got to amalgamate, which is a right brain thing, and put it together. So here's the deal. Men that are right brain, they tend to be leaders because they can communicate to a broader range of different people, all the way from scientists to architects to construction dudes to middle to the right brain to very creative and art people, bigger picture people. So the reason why women are attracted to leaders is because most leaders, most of the time, are very right brain people, and they can take the pieces of the puzzle and put it together. That's why women are attracted to men that are right brain, because men that are right brain tend to have more social connections. They tend to be able to connect better with people because they can read what's called spatial awareness. Whereas the left brain, they literally plow into each other, they bang into each other, they push each other out of the way. It's a very rude, crude construction work, because you got a barrel of 200 pounds of something and you're barely balanced. You're like, get the hell out of my way. There's no time for politeness. And the right brain is aware. So right brain men tend to flow around people, whereas left brain men tend to bump, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me. And that's really obvious to someone who's in the right brain, okay? So long story short, men that are right brain or develop that, they go up the ladder faster, whether you work at the grocery store, whether you're in the military, whether you're in the corporate world. Those are the men that go up the ladder faster. Here's the deal. As a man, you're thinking, well, he's no better than I am. You're right, he's not better than you. In fact, you're probably better at the skill set than he is. But he goes up the ladder because he can work with a group of people and get the group of people to work together. And for any tribe, that's extremely important to be able to speak these different languages and understand these different ways of communicating and processing. When you can do that, her mating system gets triggered. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I know I'm talking fast. I'll slow it down in the next couple of videos. Click the like button, click subscribe, and make a comment if you learned something. See you in the next video.